So what's going on, guys? I'm Black Ops Amazing. Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Forsaken, the one, the entity, the accursed one, whatever you want to call him. He is the all-powerful one in the Dark Aether. If he escapes, humanity is doomed. And as of our recent Zombies map mod, the Toten, as you would imagine, there is brand new intel in here, documents, audio logs, radios, that tell us more about the one, what his agenda is, what he wants, what his powers are, and they are also now calling him the Forsaken, whereas like I said previous to this, we've known him by many names, especially the one, but the Forsaken is new to us. So anyway, let's get into this and take a look at what new information we've learnt about this entity. So we know one of the many people trapped within the Dark Aether is a person called Zykov. He has been stuck in there ever since the end of World War II, and as you would imagine, during his time in there, he has witnessed many things. And over the thousands of days of Zykov being trapped in the Dark Aether, he has been writing diary notes of what he's seen. And in season 4, well, he says this: Day 4513. Since my arrival here, I have gradually come to understand that there is a balance of power among the creatures of this realm. While most of us are consumed with day-to-day survival, the ones at the top of the food chain gather armies of followers and vie for supremacy. These are huge, obscenely powerful entities. I believe their competition goes back eons. But there is one of these elder gods I fear above the rest. Should it gain enough power, it will reign supreme and look for fresh conquests, and if it becomes aware of my homeland, they will be too busy competing with the West to notice the real danger. A couple of weeks later, on day 4527, he says, I have heard more rumours about a creature hunting the elder god entities who battle for supremacy here. They say it is fairly new, not of the old ones who were fought to a stalemate since this realm was young. There is a particularly disturbing detail I keep hearing. They say it actually consumes those it defeats in combat, devouring them whole, and somehow it absorbs all of the dark power from its victim and adds it as its own. Some claim that it gains new abilities this way, such as the power to change its appearance, allowing it to stalk its prey disguised as someone they trust. I dismissed it as idle fantasy the first few times I heard it, but repetition has a way of giving credence to such claims. I have not seen it, but I now believe it is out there. After a few hundred days pass, on day 4729, Zykov says, I have learned more about the one who seeks to rule this land alone. I do not know why, after centuries of stalemate, this particular creature is suddenly ascendant. I am convinced that should it defeat its rivals, its bottomless appetite for power will not go away. So I must somehow find a way to stop it before it decides Mother Russia looks like a banquet. To that end, I am designing a new mechanism I hope will prevent this menace from ever leaving this place. I may go into further detail about how it functions, but first I must gather components, assemble it, and run tests, all without catching the attention of our new overlord. Can one man succeed where the elder gods failed? Time will tell. And then around a fortnight later, on day 4771, Zykov says, I saw it. The Great Devourer, the Stealer of Souls, or, as many more of us have started to call it, the Forsaken. I was searching for machine parts further from my fort than I usually dare to travel. This was in territory once ruled by an old one who valued science and technology, so I hoped to find a trove of good components. Instead, I realised I was being stalked by some nameless horror too big for even my crucible-empowered weapon. Just as it cornered me, it seemed to sense something amiss, started to turn, and was suddenly in the clutches of the Forsaken. It was different than I had anticipated. In fact, it seemed to change appearance as it tore into the flesh of the thing that was hunting me. I ran. I do not think the Forsaken even noticed me, but it is very real. And then the final document we have from Zykov is a long time after, on day 5169, where he tells us the old ones are encountered less and less these days as the Forsaken continues its steady rise. The creature has grown to a size only rivaled by the crowds of followers that it draws to it. I watch them from a distance, through an old telescope I restored. What I see has left me shaken. The Forsaken appears to be organising them into an army. I have encountered some of them while foraging, and they always ask me to join them. Actually, it is less ask than threaten. Those who refuse and are less capable of defending themselves have been dragged to the Forsaken as sacrifices. Join or be consumed. That is the offer. This is what the Forsaken expects from all of us. I may need to move my fort or abandon it altogether. I am still beneath its notice, but continued resistance to the call of the Forsaken will surely make me a target. So what Zykov tells us about the Forsaken, the entity, the one, the accursed one, whatever you want to call him, it doesn't really matter because he goes by many names, in a way very similar to a character we are very familiar with, Dr. Monty, how he also went by other names such as the Beelzebub, Satan, the Devil. Obviously Dr. Monty was just one of his many names. Well, the Forsaken is also known by many names as well. He started off as just one of the many elder gods that are trapped within the Dark Aether, but ended up breaking free, in the sense that it started eating other elder gods. After a stalemate between them for thousands of years. We know it's even longer than that since the Dark Aether was formed back in the beginning. Ever since then, the Old Ones, the Elder Gods, they've resisted battling one another. But this particular Elder God broke the chain and began hunting other entities. And every time it does this, every time it defeats another creature in combat, it devours them whole and at the same time absorbs their powers, making the one even stronger, to the point where now it's devoured so many Elder Gods, it's the most powerful of them all, really becoming their overlord. Even the Elder Gods, which is what it used to be, they now look up to it. And it's very interesting because Zykov tells us when it devours other Elder Gods, it takes their abilities. The Forsaken has many different powers, but one of them is it can change its appearance. It can take on the forms of other creatures, so it can use this to its advantage in many different ways. But one reason this power is good is it can use it to gain the trust of its prey. Just giving you one example, we know that the Forsaken pretended to be Valentina's father. That was how he lured her in and got her to do everything we know she did. Zykov also told us that the Forsaken is building an army, which we know. It has a horde of undead Nazis. We've also seen some of the other creatures from its army, the zombies, the soldat, the manglers, the megatons, all creatures belonging to the Forsaken's army, and its main goal is to escape. Zykov is getting very worried that soon, because he's not already joined its army, the Forsaken will be coming for him. And well, he tells us a bit more about it in the form of radio transmissions.
Hello again, my friend. It is your old comrade Zykov, and yes, we are still comrades even if you now serve Omega Group. This secret war we fight, and the ultimate enemy we both face, transcend the politics of East and West. And now, thanks to Dr. Valentina, we have entered a dangerous new phase. She thinks she is carrying out her father's wishes, but she is wrong. The being that has visited her since childhood is not her father. The Forsaken is not simply powerful. He is a master of deceit. I have seen him do this before. Alter his appearance, play upon emotions, all to make others do his bidding. I have seen others here become drawn to him, follow him, worship him. And now the Forsaken commands a vast army, hungrily eyeing our world. This is the nature of the great evil I have been warning you about. This dark universe is no longer enough for him. He lives to consume. And when you reopened the gateway at End Station, he looked upon our world and saw a banquet to be devoured. I can still help you stop him, but only if you free me from this place. Only if you bring me home. Things were not always like this, my friend. I remember a time here in the Dark Aether when the Forsaken did not even exist. When I first crossed over, things were very different. And back then, there were many powerful entities at war here, forming alliances, betraying each other. Not that I realized it at first, any more than an insect would know the names of leaders in the Great Patriotic War. But eventually I came to recognize the lords of the Dark Aether. They had been locked in an ever-changing stalemate since the dawn of time. And then, one by one, the Forsaken hunted them down, consumed them, and made their power his own. The Forsaken imposed order upon the Dark Aether. Those who remained rallied to him, seeking his favor and pledging loyalty. This is a different place than when I arrived. It is infinitely more dangerous.
So there we go. However, we know that Zykov isn't now the only one that knows about the Forsaken. There are other people such as Gorov and Kravchenko. Kravchenko and Gorov tell the strike team this.
You should know, Requiem. Valentina believes she is acting on her father's orders. That he is alive, leading her army. In truth, It is a dark ether entity known as the Forsaken. It can shift its form, manipulating others, and right now, it wants to get into our world.
The infamous Requiem strike team. After a year of being Omega's itchy skin rash, it is almost a pleasure to finally make your acquaintance. I do not believe we have had formal introduction. I am Gorev. No first or last name, just Gorev. Want to know secret? Gorev is code name. Family name is... well, I do not want the attention. Grandfather's brother, he was famous soldier in Stalingrad. You see, some secrets are okay. Not like our Dr. Valentina. She has been quite the busy bee, buzzing around, using Omega's resources to pursue her own agenda, harboring the biggest secret of all. Her father being Dr. Ulrich Vogel of Project N Station. How that managed to elude us all is a question I am very interested in answering. But, as Colonel has said, the voice she hears is not really her father. It is this other entity, the Forsaken. I have heard Kravchenko call it the wolf, like from Child's Story, Red-Hooded Girl. This wolf changes itself, so it is familiar to us, so we trust it. Then it eats us.
So they're just telling us what we already know. A lot of what they know about the Forsaken, they learnt from the same place we got the information from, which was Zykov. But Kravchenko did also get a tip about the Forsaken from someone within Requiem. And then the final character that tells us more about the One, or the Great Devourer, is Dr. Jaeger of the Omega Group.
Hello, Requiem. Are we enjoying beautiful, sunny East Berlin? Perhaps not as luxurious as the amenities of the West you are so accustomed to, but still, an improvement over your most recent residency, yeah? I've seen the bodies carried out of our Potsdam facility. Brutalized. So as I understand it, you were given the 5-star treatment. No breaking of bones, no poking or prodding. The Colonel needed you in tip-top shape, he said. The Forsaken. It weasels its way into the minds of its victims, preying on their memories, hiding behind familiar faces. It found the perfect weakness for our sweet Valentina, her dearly departed daddy. The Colonel is very interested in this creature. It is a shame, really. I had hoped the Colonel was smarter than that. The Dark Ether is a vast ocean. The Forsaken, just one white veil. There are other realms, other worlds. It is a universe, after all, not a singular place. The first natural resource we discovered yielded energy beyond our wildest dreams. Do we dare imagine what else lurks in the darkness?
Again, telling us more of what we know. The Forsaken weasels its way into the mind of victims, it preys on their memories, hides behind the faces of others. That's exactly how it used Valentina. It pretended to be her father so she could do his bidding.
Father, it worked.
You look every bit as glorious as I envisioned. How do you feel, my child?
How do I feel? I feel incredible. I thought I knew what it was to wield power before. Now power sings in every fiber of my being. Nothing will stand against us.
Then go to the head of our army and lead them to glory. Unleash the judgment of the Reich on the soft, weak ingrates who sullied the fatherland.
Tell them their day is done. The sun sets forever upon their Father, are you my father?
Of course, child. My time here has left its mark on me. But I am the one who guided you to this moment. I am still me. Now go. Make me proud one final time. The Reich must rise from the ashes.
So there we go. He didn't manage to escape and mount Toten, but I'm willing to bet in our final zombies map, he will try again. Anyway, there we go. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.